So now we're going to transition. That was a lot of setting the scene, right? So what we've done, we've looked at unrealized profit. The incentive to sell has reached reasonably high levels. We would then say, okay, we're expecting sell side pressure to pick up. Where it's coming from, some of it's hodlers, some of it's GBTC, doesn't really matter. They are coins that are being distributed in some way, shape, or form, and they are doing it at the exact same time that we always see it start to pick up, which is breaking the previous cycle all-time high. As I said, Bitcoin has this strange clockwork which just seems to play out time and time again. So as we transition across to the realized framework, we're looking here at a series of SOPR metrics. Now, SOPR is essentially, if every coin in the supply was spent today, SOPR would equal MVRV because all the unrealized profit is locked in on that very day. Now, of course, not every coin is spent every day. SOPR is looking at the subset of MVRV. Think about it like that. The subset of MVRV that was actually spent. So it's the average profit or loss of the coins that did actually get spent. And MVRV will then describe all the coins that remain within that supply. Now, naturally, we can then break that down by cohort. And we've got the entity adjusted here in orange, which is going to really clean up a lot of the internal wallets and self-consolidations and exchanges and all that stuff. We've got long and short-term holders. We've got adjusted variants. Here we're looking at a whole different series of SOPR variants. The big takeaway is all of them are ripping to the highest level they've been, certainly during this cycle. And if we look at it in terms of entity adjusted, we're actually getting up to the height in January and February of the 2021 bull market. So we are hitting very, very high levels. The average coin that is moving, let me just grab this level, is on the order of 1.35, which is telling us that a 35% on average profit. Now, a lot of this is driven by long-term holders, of course. They're going to be realizing a lot larger. Generally speaking, as with many averages, there's going to be fewer transactions with very high profit and a lot more that have a lot smaller, right? This is kind of the dynamic of any population distribution. Many of these metrics function the same, and that's why we can also look at short-term and long-term and all the different components. The takeaway here, profits are being taken and it appears to be accelerating. As the liquidity comes in with the ETFs, with the additional news coverage, all these components that happen when Bitcoin breaks the all-time high, traders of all shapes and sizes and ETFs and whatever are taking the opportunity to take chips off the table. And we are seeing the average profit ticking higher. And we can actually see that many of these metrics peak and reach a certain zenith at the actual price peak. Because remember, that profit taking is essentially it's a meaningful component of what establishes local and global tops, because sell side pressure is quite literally what oversaturates demand.